Welcome to the Ballet Help Desk podcast. My name is Jenny, and I am joined by my co-founder, Brett. We are both proud ballet moms who met backstage at our children's recital. During our kids' training, we found that resources were limited, and we relied on dance magazines and fellow parents in the lobby for information. Now that our children are embarking on their professional careers, we are excited to share our combined 20 years of experience as ballet moms with all of you. We will be bringing in experts to help make sense of this complex world of ballet training. Our ballet competition series continues with fan favorites Mark Carlson and Sandra Kerr from International Ballet School in Denver, Colorado. They share valuable insights on competitions and also offer tips on setting achievable goals. Their frankness and openness in this conversation are enlightening, and I always learn something new every time we speak with them.
So thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And talk about ballet competitions. Full disclosure, we have kids who did non-ballet competitions and then also ballet competitions. But it looks like you guys have been really successful, and everybody has their own view of the competition world. What I'd love to understand is how your studio approaches ballet competitions and kind of how you see it fitting into your overall training regimen.
Well, the only competitions we do here in Colorado, there's the Denver Ballet Guild, which goes every year. The last skip, now they came back again this year, and by GP regionals come.
UBC.
I've been
now comes here
4 times to Prix de Lausanne and twice to USA IBC.
Right.
And we went years ago to Beijing International.
Okay.
But otherwise, the Star Search and Starstruck.
If it has the name Star in it, don't do
Right?
it.
Now
Star
I'm
balance or power.
talking specifically the ballet competitions.
Okay, so this is how we view it. I mean, we have kids from, young kids all the way through teenage kids. And we tell them the most important thing is the process, the one-on-one coaching to learn a variation. When a child first learns a variation, and I don't care how old they are, if they're younger or older, it's the same process. It's like you have to not just learn a variation, you have to learn how to learn a little bit. You have to learn, I have to keep my corrections from one private lesson to the next. I have to constantly be remembering those corrections and building on it. And I tell them it's like I'm layering an onion. First, we're going to start with the big major corrections and we're going to peel that layer back, and then we're going to start with the next corrections and the next corrections. And I said, you're going to do it the first time and everything's going to work great. And the more we fix it, the more it's going to fall apart, and then you have to take every little piece and pull it back to you. And once you have it, it is yours for life. And then you will be able to take that knowledge and teach the next generation if you wanted to. That's the process of learning a variation. And that is the most important thing.
Yeah, about learning. As far as participating, we let a lot of schools will only let their best students go because they're afraid of their
reputation or how they look.
Anybody who wants to do it with us is welcome to do it.
Right. But it's easy for us to say too, because we have kids who, you're a certain age, you're coming a lot, you're probably going to be pretty decent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is the learning, and some people are like, well, I only want to do it when my kids could win a scholarship and I say,
you better get into top 12 this year for all the money I paid.
Yeah. And the thing is that there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad with the company. You know that, right? Sure. We know that.
But there is one thing here in Denver that's good. I mentioned the Denver Ballet Guild, and then YGP comes to town.
Right.
They're completely opposite. YGP you could do any variation under the sun, and you wear a costume and you win a plaque and you do classes afterwards. Denver Ballet Guild, classes first, that's 50% of your score.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Leotard
and tights, variation, 4 choices for 2 age groups.
Interesting.
for 2 age groups. But they do it for the judges, only 10 from each of those, and from the boys too.
Okay.
There's never 10 boys. For the public and the judges again, so they have 50% of the score from their class, and then they have a score to get these 10, and then from the 10, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, get prizes.
Right.
And it's money, $2,000 for first place, $1,500 for
Really good. Really good.
But YGP, hopefully having judges from, at least once you get to New York, of course, from big schools.
Right.
And for this one, it's usually smaller schools, the Louisville Ballet and things like that. But they're more forgiving of physique. Whereas YGP, their main focus is to get people into the big schools.
Right.
So they want that. So it's entirely different.
Sure.
One time, we usually do pretty well at these. One time, we didn't do so well one year, and kids were kind of down. And you know what Sandra did? She took about 30 or 40 photos of all different kinds of art, modern art and classical and romantic, and put them up on the wall. And she had all the kids that participated choose your 3 favorite. And they saw how different it was.
They picked their favorites, and I said, what makes your favorite better than her favorite?
Right.
Yeah.
It's your personal taste.
Right.
And you can have that day a group of judges, and a completely different group of judges would have a different outcome. For us, it's never we're going to win. That's not what it's about. You prepare the best you can. You be your personal best.
Right.
And you have to develop basically the guts to go out there and be your personal best. And that doesn't happen. Sometimes it happens on a YGP if the kid is really young because they don't know any better. And they're like, this was fun. And then all of a sudden they figure out all the stakes, and then the pressure sets in. And that's the hard part of you have to do it a few years, because you have to get a hold of yourself of dancing under that pressure. But the thing of it is that a ballet company is pressure. I mean, every new choreographer that comes in, it's the same thing. Auditioning is pressure. You have to learn how to deal with that before the pressure will cost you something that you really want.
Right. The stakes are pretty low in those competitions. Now, let's say you've got a new family, right? Or a family, they may not be new to you, but they're new to a ballet competition. And let's just use YAGP in Denver as an example. What do you tell families, both the parents and the kids, what should they expect in their first regional that they go to?
Not to win.
I don't even say that. I mean, there's a lot of parents who do have that expectation for their kids. And I tell them it's a long road. Training a dancer, it's 10 years, and it's a big mountain to climb. And they will have successes and they will have failures.
Sure.
They will win things and they will lose things. And that's the difficult part of being a dancer. And you have to learn from your failures. Okay, what could I have done better? And maybe it wasn't anything. Maybe it was I did my very best and it just didn't happen. And that's why I say this is an art form, and it is extremely subjective to opinions. I show them you can be in a ballet company and have a guest choreographer come and, oh my gosh, you are the apple of his eye. He's never seen anything better. He's using you to choreograph the piece. You're doing everything. And the next guy comes along and he could care less about you.
Yeah.
You just don't know. That's why, I tell people it's not just the dancer dancing. It's the skills behind it. You've got to be the smartest person in the room, meaning you eyes and ears are open, everything that is going on, other people's roles, you've learned all the choreography, even what's not your own. You are dependable. You are always there. Your head is screwed on nice and straight. You are a cheerleader. You're always positive. You're not like the person in the corner complaining about everything, why life is unfair, that you didn't get this or this or this. Don't be that person. Nobody wants to work with that person. That person will be gone, and their life is going to be hard in a dance company. And it's not easy to stay positive, right? That is a choice you make every day. Wake up and you're like, oh, I just want to go home and cry on my pillow because this happened to me. You just have to be like, okay, choreographer doesn't see me, doesn't recognize me. I am going to stand in the back and do everything the best that I can, and just be so positive that hopefully they will see past the first cast and be like, oh, that person. That's all you can do. And really, in the end, it makes you happier and it gets you far further. Competitions are the same thing. You just have to train your best, do your best, be proud of the fact that you are better when you finish the competition than you were when you first started.
Right.
And build on.
Like she said, it's a process.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That first variation takes forever. Second
Right.
one goes faster.
Sure.
By the time they're 15, 16, you teach to them within a half hour, they could do a pretty good job with it.
Sure. Yeah. Do you see, what unhealthy practices do you see in the competition world?
Oh God, so many. I see so many. It's horrible. I mean, really, I see pressure from coaches to their kids, so much pressure. I see them treating kids not like they're humans, all rainbows and butterflies all the time.
Sure.
That, you have to be the police a little bit. But man, competition weekend, performance weekend, we're at where we're at.
Right.
The end. You know what I mean? And you just have to be supportive and you did great. And, that the kids understand it's like perfection is not the goal, right? That perfection is everything was perfect. And that was the goal. And that was my pass or fail. And that they think that that's our pass or fail, our opinion of them. It's not. Every performance, you're going to have good things and bad things, things that didn't go how you wanted and things that went how you wanted. And that's performance, that's ballet, that's art all the time. That they have to understand that we're on their side,
Sure.
And we're proud of them no matter what they do. And they did their best and showing up and deciding to do the competition, huge leap. I mean, amongst my friends of professional dancers were like, God, these competitions were around when you were a kid. Would you have done them? And most of my friends are like, no, you know what I mean? Like, no way.
Oh, it takes such a different level of bravery to get out there and do a solo on your own at a young age and stand out there and be judged, not just to perform it, but and then you get a scorecard and telling you where your flaws are.
Totally. You know what I mean? And there are some competitions that are not nice about their comments.
Right.
It's terrible. And also, we've had directors of major competitions come up to us and say, this girl, not going to make it. Not going to make it. She doesn't have the body, blah, blah, blah. This other of your, that's who you should push. Guess what? Other girl, not dancing. Girl, she told me it was not going to dance, dancing. And a good career.
Let me ask you about that. So one of the questions that we get a lot, the political side of ballet competitions, and there is a perception among people that some of these ballet competitions are rigged. What's your opinion of that?
Well, rigged is a big word, of course.
It is.
I mean,
but this is what I think about competition. The director of the competition or the person that's running it or owns it or however you want to look at it, okay? They've got pressure from all of these schools. Like, we need bodies that fill our schools. So, they are looking for definitely certain body types. Now, there is variation amongst all of those schools and companies of what body types they are looking at. But obviously, everybody wants nice legs and feet and turnout and extension and all of the things, right? And when you're younger, it's more about the possibility of what you have. And when you're older, it's more about where you are at right now, you know? So that person has all of that pressure because why are they going to spend money and send a representative and offer scholarship if there's nobody to fill them? You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that it's not enough for that director of that competition to have 10 good bodies because they have many schools that are wanting to fill a space from that competition because let's face it, competition is a place where they are finding students, right? To fill their schools and programs and traineeships and apprenticeships and everything else. Director's pressure. Then the other side is the pressure of kids and parents and wanting things for their students. And the other side of that is it's a business. Even if it's a nonprofit, it is a business. It has to make money. It has to cover its costs. If you're a business and you are expanding into new territory, are you going to want to encourage those people from the new territory to come back and continue to give you their business? Good schools that are constantly providing your competition with good dancers, are you going to want to keep those people happy? Right?
Yeah.
Then there's also the kids that come in and they are phenomenal. They've got great bodies. They are well coached. They danced well. They did a great job. So I think it's a mix of who showed up, who was fantastic. I mean, really, that they are recognized. It's the potential of some kids. Maybe they weren't as strong and didn't do as good a job, but they're younger and they've got really great facility. There is promoting the business. There is keeping other factions happy.
Right. Well, they're business people,
right.
but at the same time, she really, really tries to find places for these people.
Right.
She's doing her best to get these kids placed, to find out where they would like to go, to find out if those schools are interested. She's really wants it. She's really trying for the kids.
But there's a lot there. You know, and so
being smart too about it, because they're really shifting from like who wins to focusing on getting these kids into the various schools around the world, which I think is an interesting move.
Right.
Well, for example, who wins at USAIBC? The last time I went, not there now, this year, but the last 2 times I was there,
right?
Well, I had four students there.
No, 6 the last time.
No, four at USAIBC, yeah. And the one boy, 3 girls, and he didn't win. He got in, but he didn't win anything.
Mm-hmm.
He had 8 offers, and the people who win have 2, 3 offers, because Houston Ballet is not going to offer them something, because Royal Ballet and Paris Opera is going to offer them company, you know. So there's more offers for somebody who didn't win.
One last question about competition, and then we'll shift gears. I've always been curious about this, especially for regional YAGP specifically. Why do people go to multiple regionals? Like in Denver, why doesn't everybody go to the Denver one? Like, why do some go to Seattle and some go?
Absolute politics. One, you know what I mean? Some people don't want to bring their students to the regional one, because then all of their parents are going to see other regional school students.
Oh, interesting.
That's one.
So but there's several schools out there that I know.
Yeah, but I think she's talking about maybe individual students. Some whole schools go to other
right.
regions.
But I mean, and then some people think like, oh, if I that YAGP is in a podunk place, and so obviously there are not going to be as many good kids there, and so kids going to have a better shot at winning one of the top prizes. And well, so all of the other people that are there, 50,000 people that are thinking the same thing, all show up. Is no YAGP where there's going to be easier than another. There, it just isn't.
There could be different judges at the other one, and like Sandra putting up all the photos, you know, judges could make a difference. We've had individual students go just in the last couple of years.
What is one change you would really like to see happen in the ballet world?
I think that competitions are a great thing. And I think we do them because they give our kids a lot of opportunity. And we're always about like audition for everybody, do everything. I mean, not star search competitions, but you know, if it's a real thing and people are going to show up from real places, show up. You don't know what opportunity you're going to get from it unless you're there, you know?
Right, exactly. I mean, I tell them, maybe you don't want to go to this school. Audition anyway, so you can feel comfortable and try to take that comfort into
That's not what I don't like about the dance world. I think that the competitions and Instagram glorify like the 10 pirouettes, or glorify I can wrap my leg around my head 3 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Glorify the extremely thin, you know, body types that are not sustainable. They glorify a lot of negative things. And I feel like when we came up through dance, we learned from our teachers, we learned from reading books about the history of the ballet world. We read dance magazines. We went to museums. We studied art and music and the history and how art and music influenced dance. And
I had to watch ballet on, you know, big 16 millimeter reel to reel.
Yeah. but we like sucked in every bit of information. But the thing is, the information was real information because there wasn't like anybody could just put anything out there.
Sure. Because
Professionals put things out there. So it was real information, So we were educated in a way that we got real information. Now I think kids get bombarded with information. I had a little sit down with my kids and I said, since they're our new baby, name me a ballerina that really inspires you, or a ballet dancer who really inspires you, that's a professional, that you love to watch perform and you look at all their stuff up on YouTube. And I had a kid who named a person who doesn't even dance anymore and just has a blog. Right. You're not looking at the right things. So I tried to teach them, Google ballet companies, find the principal dancers on there, look them up, see what inspires you. They're not, a lot of them doing 10 pirouettes. It is an art form. It's an art form. The end. Yeah. If the person on, Instagram that's doing 10 pirouettes, you don't know though that they're boring and you don't want to watch them do Giselle for 2 hours. She cannot carry the ballet. But they all think that's what's important. I got to be able to do 10 turns. That's what's important. I got to be able, to look like this. That's what's important. And all of the crazy things that people do to get there. It's not reality.
Right. I mean, yeah, kids definitely have a really skewed view because of social media. I mean, back in the day when you didn't have those kinds of things, you only knew people in your tiny pod. And then maybe if you went to a summer program, now you're exposed to worldwide what kids are doing at your age. And, it really gives kid a very, very skewed version because everyone only puts out their best video. Nobody's putting all the times they fell. So grateful that you have given us so much of your valuable time. What is thing you would really like parents to take away from this conversation that we've had today?
Be smart about the choices you make for your child. There's not one path to get there. There are so many different paths, and there's not one kind of kid. And you have to be smart about who your kid is and and what they want. It's a really careful line of don't hold them back, but don't let them drive the car. They're children.
Right.
And so many parents let their kid drive the car. You can't take the big names and say, hey, that's going to be great and everything's going to be great and it's all going to work out. Maybe, but maybe not. Mm-hmm. You have to really educate yourself. What are the good schools? Who is producing? When are the big schools taking you and really able to do something with you? Who is helping you along in your career? And also to really keep your eyes and ears open on your kid, because kids change and their dreams change. And sometimes they're so afraid to say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, right. That's such great advice.
That is great.
They feel so pressured and that no one will love them anymore if they decide to really say, this is not for me. And like I said, we all just want our kids to be happy and healthy humans. And if this is their passion, we want to support them in that. But, pay attention because like I said, an 8-year-old's dream is far different from an 18-year-old's.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your time. We are so very grateful. If you liked what you heard on this episode, please take a moment to help us spread the word. Leave us a review on your preferred podcast platform, tell a friend, and share on your social media. Also, as your dancers return home from their summer intensives, please head over to theballethelpdesk.com and leave us an anonymous review of the program. Help your fellow dance parents by letting them learn all about the good, the bad, and everything in between. To stay in the loop on all of our latest content, subscribe to our newsletter at ballethelpdesk.com and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until next time, have a great day.